Welcome back. We're continuing our reading of Paul, a novel by Walter Wangerin. And Paul eventually became a great writer of letters. But he was not the only writer of letters in that time. Another letter we have here in the novel is written by the Roman Seneca. And he writes as follows. Seneca, in exile on Corsica, to Helvia, my mother, in Cordoba, this first year of the reign of Claudius. Greetings. I will not call it exile, Mater Optima, and neither should you. We will call it an involuntary change in residence, realizing that the man required to make such a change need not himself be changed. He is who he was, and what he may always be. O Mother, often since the Senate tore us asunder and drove me alone to this rock, I've wanted to write you a letter of consolation, but I mistrusted myself. My own grieving choked every good word in me, unspoken, unspeakable, unwritten. But 6 months have passed. Perhaps your sorrow has eased enough to receive my remedies. Surely I have banished mine, so I write. Please don't think me cruel if I begin with a list of your past misfortunes. The pampered, luxuriant mind shrinks from the slightest injury, but the woman who has survived a succession of calamities can bear the heaviest blow with resolution. You are that woman, Mother, even from the beginning. On the day you were born, your own mother died. 10 years ago, you endured the horrors of shipwreck, believing that your sister and her husband and I myself, all three, had gone down to the seabed, drowned. It was Galerius, in fact, that had died. We were able to meet and kiss and embrace, you and I, while he lay down on his marble bed forever. But then, your husband, my father and my namesake, died. This man once saved my life, did you know? Before my sojourn in Egypt, my sickness, my grim suspirium, used to cause such anguish, keeping me ever thin and coughing and cold, that I thought to cut the problem out of my life by cutting my life out altogether. It was care for my dear old father that prevented me. I didn't worry so much whether I had the strength to die as whether he had the strength to endure my dying. But then it was his death that we had to endure, you and I, but separately since a sea divided us. Next, so soon upon the loss of your husband came the losses of 3 of your grandchildren, and one of these was mine, my own, my youngest son, who died against your bosom, Mother, and under the rain of your gentle kisses. Finally, I, your second-born, have been torn from you and sent alive to this forsaken crag, this stony grave. It's a new sort of mourning, isn't it, to mourn the living? There. Not a single misfortune have I overlooked, because I intend not to cover them, but to conquer them. And I start with the last. Do you grieve because you think I grieve? Don't, because I don't. I have schooled myself in contentment, Mother. In my 43rd year, when other men are attaining the height of their powers, I've lost power, as well as freedom and the use of my whole estate. But this is my contentment, that I've lost what I never needed, and what I need I can never lose. These 2 things, universal nature and one's personal virtue. For this is the intention of the Creator of the world, whatever he may be, whether an all-powerful deity or some incorporeal reason contriving vast works, or a divine spirit pervading all things from the least to the largest with a uniform energy, or fate, or an inalterable sequence of causes clinging one to another, whatever the intender, I say, this is his intention, that nothing of ours can fall under the control of others except that which is finally and truly worthless to us. The best of any man lies beyond the powers of other men, either to give it or to take it away. Listen to me. This firmament arching over you as it does me, this firmament, more ordered and proportioned, more mobile and lovely than anything else that nature has fashioned, this brave firmament, Mother, and the most glorious part of it, that is, the human mind, capable of surveying and delighting in it, is ours forever. As long as we are and are looking, it shall be. And as long as I can behold the realms of God, the sun, the moon, the wandering planets rising and setting, swift and slow, the myriad stars in circular courses or fixed or shooting, as long as I can commune with celestial beings, raising my sight to my cousins on high, why should I care what ground is under my feet? And what if an exile is reduced to bread in a hut? Why, the lowliest hovel can be furnished with virtues. Justice and temperance make room for grand companies of friends. Wisdom and righteousness are the chairs and tables. A sweet and proper division of duties produces 100 serving hands. And the knowledge of God is food and drink indeed. Lo, how a hut is a palace after all. I have never loved fortune, even when she seemed most to love me. I never considered her treasures mine, neither her money, nor her office, nor her influence. And her theft of these things, therefore, has taken away nothing of my own. Mother, my roof is the stars. My house is human goodness. My body is clothed, my stomach is full, and the thirstier part of me, my soul, drinks gladly from the pool of my books. So much for me. I am just fine. As for you, I know your heart. I know what saddens you and what does not. Neither jewels nor pearls have ever moved you. Riches don't glitter in your eyes. You were never embarrassed by the number of your children as if it proved you old, nor did you hide a pregnancy for the sake of silly beauty. You've never defiled your face with paints, nor exposed your body through gauzy garments. Your greatest ornament has ever been your modesty. For you, the loss of external things is no loss at all. But that which is internal, that is the wound in you. Spirit and love and taking thought and the absolute walls of mortality. What then, Mother? Why, then study philosophy. I wish my father had been less bound to the customs of his forefathers. I wish he had relented and let you receive a genuine education. A knowledge of the teachings of philosophy would be your ward and protector now, even as it is for me. He was old-fashioned while he lived, but now it is your life and altogether your deciding. And you know how to read. And the foundations of philosophy are already established in your alert, acquiring mind. So, go back to the books. They will comfort you and cheer you. If earnestly you work with them, Neither sorrow, nor anxiety, nor distress, nor suffering need trouble your mind anymore. No, not evermore. But until you've achieved the dear detachment of wisdom, O Mother, lean on my brothers. Delight in their achievements. Novatus has done wonderfully well since he was adopted by Senator Lucius Junius Gallio. We call my luminous brother by his new name, Gallio. We praise his easy charm, and we rejoice in his public honors. And while your oldest son shines bright in the Roman sky, he shines on you. And if Mela, your youngest son, has chosen to live in contemplation, scorning the honors of the public arena in order to take his leisure near you, then his leisure is for you. Gallio helps you. Mela pleases you. Gallio protects you. Mela consoles you. Surely, together they fill the space that has been left by me. And you lack for nothing now, except the bare number, 3. Oh, and I know that you have already turned to your grandson Marcus, sweet and winsome in all his ways. How can sorrow live in the light of the face of that child? What heart is so hurt it could not heal in his innocent huggings? What tears so great they could not dry in his lively chatter? And whose joy would not rise and laugh out loud at the rhymes he makes, the verses he shouts from hall to hall, the epics in that baby's brain? Mark my words, Marcus will be a poet one day. And I pray the gods that we all may die before he does. Oh, let the ravagings of fate stop here with me. Whatever aches you are doomed to suffer, mother and grandmother, let them all fall on me. May the rest of my family know no charge hereafter. I shall not lament my present state, neither the exile nor the death of my son, if only I may be the scapegoat for the rest of the family, for the rest of those whom I love, and if all their sorrows end with me.